Women's basketball has reached a defining moment, and the landscape is shifting rapidly. For years, the sport has struggled with visibility and engagement, but Caitlin Clark emerged as a transformative figure, a player who not only brought her A game to the court, but also elevated the entire conversation around women's basketball. With her unmatched talent and magnetic presence, Clark didn't just play basketball, she redefined it. Her games commanded NFL-level viewership, drawing in over 580,000 viewers on average, a feat rarely seen in women's sports. This is the Caitlin Clark effect, and it's a phenomenon that carried the weight of the sport on her shoulders. Now, with her absence from college basketball, the cracks in the foundation are glaringly visible. The numbers paint a stark picture. Ratings for women's college basketball have plummeted. Without Clark, games that once drew hundreds of thousands of viewers are struggling to hit even 200,000. Consider this: an Iowa-Virginia Tech matchup recently brought in a mere 209,000 viewers, a staggering 64% drop compared to similar games last year featuring Clark. The decline isn't limited to just one game. It's a growing trend. Iowa's game against Toledo, for instance, drew a paltry 136,000 viewers, a figure so low it highlights the massive vacuum left in Clark's wake. And this isn't due to a change in broadcasting or timing. These games air in the same slots, on the same networks as Clark's did. The difference? Clark's absence. The dependency on star power in women's basketball has never been clearer. The sport feels like it's missing its centerpiece, its headline act. Players like Paige Bueckers and Reese have been touted as the next big stars, but the numbers tell a different story. Despite their talent, neither has managed to replicate Clark's ability to captivate audiences. For example, Reese, a name frequently hyped by media, couldn't even sell out home games at LSU. That lack of draw has carried over to the WNBA, where Reese still struggles to fill smaller venues. It's a sobering reality. Without Clark, women's basketball risks losing the momentum it worked so hard to build. This issue extends far beyond college basketball. The WNBA, which has long faced challenges in generating consistent viewership and attendance, is now confronting an even greater threat: competition. Enter the unrivaled league, a new player in the basketball world that's poised to disrupt the status quo. Backed by TNT, this 3-on-3 league has the financial muscle and media expertise to offer players salaries that dwarf what the WNBA can provide. Imagine a scenario where players earn more in one unrivaled game than they do in an entire WNBA season. The implications are massive. The unrivaled league ends its season before the WNBA starts, giving players the opportunity to participate in both. But it also raises the question, where will their loyalty lie? Caitlin Clark is at the center of this storm. If she chooses to join the unrivaled league, it could set off a domino effect that forces the WNBA to reevaluate everything from its pay structure to its marketing strategies. Clark isn't just another player. She's a potential game-changer who could redefine professional women's basketball. Her decision could inspire other top players to follow suit, fundamentally altering the balance of power in the sport. And with TNT's backing, the unrivaled league has the resources to amplify this shift, creating a new era of competition that the WNBA has never faced before. The problem for the WNBA isn't just the competition, it's its over-reliance on star power. Basketball, more than any other sport, thrives on individual player narratives. Fans tune in to watch the stars, not necessarily the teams. This works well when those stars are present, but it leaves the sport vulnerable when they're not. The departure of a player like Clark exposes this weakness. What happens when the next superstar retires, gets injured, or, in Clark's case, graduates to new opportunities. The sport risks losing its audience unless it finds a way to build sustained interest in the game itself. These challenges aren't insurmountable, but they demand urgent action. Women's basketball needs to shift its focus from short-term gains to long-term sustainability. It must develop stars, yes, but it also has to make the sport itself compelling enough to retain fans when those stars move on. The WNBA, in particular, needs to learn from its struggles and adapt. The emergence of the unrivaled league is a wake-up call. It's no longer the only game in town, and if it doesn't evolve, it risks being left behind. The stakes have never been higher. Women's basketball is at a crossroads, and the decisions made now will shape its future for years to come. Will Caitlin Clark's absence become a catalyst for change? Will another star rise to fill her shoes? Can the WNBA fend off its first real competitor?